Okay, let's just say between now and the end of the season, every time that Liverpool play, it's going to be a big night, a big day, a big whatever it is. So, by proxy of all these games being towards the end of the season, every night's big. But on top of that, yeah, this was another big night at Anfield, another interesting performance that we can take apart and see why Liverpool's title run-in is different to both Arsenal and Man City. But why, obviously, the three of them all together. Welcome back to Lawrence McKenna on LFC channel. Obviously, this is a Liverpool dedicated channel. If you want to subscribe, you're more than welcome. There's Patreon just down there if you want to support the work that we do. Obviously, there's going to be previews out. There's going to be all sorts of things, new managers, all that kind of stuff. A different kind of insight to maybe some other people out there. And obviously, you're welcome to stick around if you're a Liverpool fan in the Discord. Anyway, McAllister, you absolute beauty. You are... I think this season you have fast become Liverpool's favourite midfielder, if not Liverpool's favourite player outside of those kind of core players, right? And there are ways to endear yourself with the Anfield crowd. First of all, playing out of position, playing in ways that you don't necessarily look comfortable in. He's absolutely done that towards the start of this season. And you know what? I always appreciated what it was that he did, but I knew that there was another plan for him. I knew that Klopp had big hopes. And Klopp earlier in the week said, I really badly wanted this guy. I really wanted him in the team, badly wanted to get him and make sure that we had that talent, that technical detail, the interlinking with other players, all the different things that he brings to this side, and the goals, and the danger, and the defensive prowess, everything on top of that, which allow Liverpool to be such an adaptable midfield. McAllister was great going back, he was great going forward. There were so many different aspects to his game that he showed us earlier on in the season, but that being unleashed a little bit and having, people who are a little bit more defensively minded alongside you definitely helps with. Let's just talk about it, all right? We can talk about the goal. First of all, this guy has got a strike on him. But he also chooses when to unleash this strike. There are great moments when he does it. Sometimes he swings at the ball, sometimes it comes off at a very perfect angle, sometimes you can see the power that he possesses. He's small, he's not petite, he's not slight. He's frankly a bit of an Argentinian lump, a little bit like Messi kind of has evolved into, but he's so light on his feet. He's so good at managing his weight. There's a ballerina-esque element to him, but like one of the smaller ones. There is that element that you need in the Premier League of being tough, being able to take tackles, ride the tackle, move through people. Got all of those things. But especially when you see him shoot, do you see his centre of gravity go low, his leg basically release all the power that he's fastened to the floor with, and suddenly you just see Anfield erupt. He practically took the roof off, as they said on the commentary this evening, and it was a great moment. Liverpool were in a bit of a sticky patch. They're in a pickle, should we say, because Sheffield United had played a completely frustrating game of football, and it's partly the low block, it's partly the physicality, it's partly if you know how to play Liverpool, which more savvy managers do, then you know how to get into our heads. You know how to make things difficult for us. And that is why I don't actually love this last run. As much as people are saying it's easy, form is all part of it, Liverpool are one of those teams that if you match them up, then there is a chance. Or at least you're suckered into thinking there is a chance. And that's kind of what Klopp needs you to do. As soon as Sheffield United thought, hey, we're in with an opportunity here, Liverpool basically struck, slowly constrict around them, and then in the end you get that goal. And frankly, I think Liverpool were lucky to be ahead at all in this game. They barely created any chances. They absolutely dominated the possession, but done very little with it. In terms of actual output, which again, I think is maybe an ignorant thing to say about this Liverpool team, but you have to get some shots on goal, you have to have some output, you have to scare the opposition, and the low block is always going to be something that's going to buoy other teams on. They're going to think, well, hey, if they haven't created very much, then we're in with a chance here. To an extent, it's playing possum for Liverpool. It's where they lay back and go, yeah, you're right, like maybe we aren't having one of our days. But Liverpool are the team in the league who score most in the final 15 minutes. Would I love it if we had games topped off early like Arsenal did last night, like Man City have so often? Of course I would. Of course I'd love to be able to conserve legs, conserve energy. But here's the thing. And this is why you need to watch Liverpool closely and not just be another fan looking in. And I get it, everyone can watch football, everyone can appreciate it, but we have learned to watch Klopp football. We learned last season to look for some of the mistakes that Liverpool players make during this new system, this new idea of ball movement. And again, we've upgraded it partly this season, right? And within that, there are only certain things that Liverpool fans who watch the game weeks in, week out and notice the patterns, the intricacies, the way that players want to pass, the positions they want to get into are going to notice. And that's what I've noticed with Liverpool. Klopp conserves energy in different ways, the way that Arteta and Pep do, right? First of all, his rotation is brilliant, and that's why we need this rotation. Bringing on Curtis Jones, bringing on Cody Gakpo, bringing on, we had to replace Kanate. bringing on Robbo, Harvey Elliott. It was a frustrating night. Like, we were getting frustrated. But what's interesting about it is a lot of people make subs to change the game based on what's going on the field. Obviously, Klopp does that. Obviously, Klopp wants to constrict the opposition, confuse them, make it as hard as possible. But what he also knows is that changes are just going to make differences in the game. Changing Harvey Elliott on is going to make a difference in the overall movement. It's going to confuse the opposition. Whether you're winning or not, it's a good thing to bring Harvey Elliott on. The same with Andy Robertson. They are great players who are going to make a difference. And it's not always that you need one player on to come on and change things, which is why I feel like the criticism of Cody Gakpo recently has been a little bit more, it's been misplaced, should we say. And I thought after the Manchester United game, he got absolutely rinsed in the comments. People were saying about him, he doesn't know what his position is. We don't know what his position is. He's not actually as good as we thought he was. We got rinsed for this amount of money. I actually think he had a really solid game this evening. I actually think he had a game where you look at him and go, hey, like, this guy has got really sharp passing, really great movement. He's got really great interplay with other players. He's clearly got a great understanding with certain players in the team. Loves playing alongside Jones, loves playing alongside McAllister, loves playing as part of that front line when there's certain kinds of spaces for him, and has a great finish on him. And he's one of those players where you just look at him and go, you know what, you deserve more credit than you're getting right now. You're playing the defensive game that we've always wanted you to play. You're playing like the attacking game that a lot of other players probably don't have the patience to play. We need real patience as Liverpool fans right now, especially coming into the last element of the season. And on top of that, it was 2-1. The goal that he scored and the way that the game was shaped at that point, this was a key goal. McAllister, of course, sparked something for Liverpool. Of course, he made a big difference. And of course, it's kind of a wonder strike in itself, which proves what a night like this is. But on top of that, you need consistent players. And I think there is consistency in approach, not necessarily in output, but approach from people like Cody Gakpo, good kids, McAllister, Jones came on. Love to see someone like Jones come on. He's one of the best two-way players in our team right now. He's one of the best players, one of the best young European midfielders who's able to manage games, who's great at making decisions when going past people, doesn't always look for that going past someone again in the way that he did when he was younger, is still cheeky, has retained a lot of the great things about his game, but also matured in terms of body, in terms of mind, in terms of what Klopp wants him to do. He's kept a lot of what made Steven Gerrard and other Scousers and other great leaders in the team recommend him to Klopp and say, hey, this is one of the guys. But he's also evolved in that mental way that you want to see young players do. He's had that moment where someone's gone, hey, listen, you're going to need to do something here, otherwise you're going to lose your place in the team. Carvalho's coming in, Harvey Elliott's coming in, we've signed brand new midfielders. If you learn from Thiago, if you learn from McAllister, if you learn from Henderson, if you learn from Gerrard, Fabinho, who else do we have? Gini Wijnaldum down the years. You watched all these guys. What do you want to do? Do you want to be one of those fringe players who is there because people think you're a Liverpool player? Just the Scouser, or do you want to be there because you are there on merit, on talent? Klopp always knew that was in him, and I think Curtis Jones did too. And in the end, we worked out the way to channel it, do it in the right way. Of course, I love to see Robbo come on. I actually think Gomez was really solid this evening. I actually think that the back line looked really solid, apart from the own goal from Bradley, who again had a really solid right back performance, who is more than stepping up to the plate, who is more than outperforming where he needs to. It was a silly leg to hang out there, and Kelleher's really unfortunate to concede that one, but it's also the way that Liverpool play. I saw John McKenzie's analysis on Twitter earlier this week of City and Arsenal try and lock down everything the opposition does. Liverpool play into the odds, and that is an understanding with the players now. Don't get nervous when you see the opposition are coming into the game. That is your opportunity to strike. You're able to counter-punch. Liverpool are a counter-puncher as much as they're an aggressive team. There are lots of different elements to this game that make it much more exciting. And I think something that when we get a new manager, we're going to see, hey, like actually the way that Klopp played was such a beautifully balanced way, but not in the way that is appreciated with Arteta and Pep and is kind of the zeitgeist right now in the league. We are playing the odds, which is why someone like Sheffield will score, which is why other teams will make us nervous. Is it always the best way to play? Well, is always anyways the best way to play? You know, Arsenal have lost this season, they've drawn. City have lost the season, they've drawn. Manchester United, who are incredibly defensive and going to be incredibly defensive against Liverpool, playing on the counter-attack, have had losses. Because of the way that modern football is, because of the balance, because of the way that teams try to play against Liverpool, you're always going to have a bit of an imbalance in the game. There's one point where it was 91% for 9% possession for Liverpool. Had Liverpool capitalised? No. It was such a low block. And then they go down the other end and score from one opportunity. But the rest of the game, it's locked down. Guess why? Because we're reducing the opportunities. And that's because of the aggression of Konate and the aggression of Van Dijk out there. The positioning of Van Dijk and the aggression of Konate really complement each other, which is why I'm gutted that, again, I don't want to say it was a deliberate tackle, but the player definitely threw himself into Konate's knee. There was definitely an element of let's get at Konate, not only mentally, but also physically this evening. It really frustrates me because he's a great young player, but often he is targeted down that side, not only because got a young right back or Trent on that side, but also because when he is more aggressive, he is more likely to get sucked out of his position like he's meant to be, like he's meant to do his role, and he's more likely to then be caught out of position. There were a few times they went down when he went near them. He kind of gets penalised for being a big player in the first place and kind of having that physicality about him, or having the perception of physicality about him because he is big, because he is someone who is strong. Why he gets penalised for that, I don't know. You've got to use your physical attributes. But that's kind of my point. Like, I'm gutted to see him injured, and I really would have loved him to be a player at Old Trafford this weekend. More about that in my preview. I hope he's better in time. I hope it is just precautionary. I hope it's not precautionary, you know that, but I hope that there is less to it than it looked like there was out on the field. I'm gutted for him. He's such a great young guy, such a great personality. Obviously fasting at the moment for Ramadan, so there's a lot going on for him. Same with Salah, same with a couple of other players in the team. So there's a lot going on for Liverpool at the moment. Point being, yeah, I get it. Like, we will bring in someone like Quansah or Gomez or a mixture of the two, and we'll try and lock it down at Old Trafford. But I just love the aggression of Konate. I would have wanted to see him up against someone like Rashford or someone like Garnacho. And I would have wanted to see us go on the front foot. And I think we still will see that. But I'm looking forward to this game this weekend. Not necessarily because I think we're going to win, but specifically because it's a really great test for Liverpool and a possibility of redemption. Let me know in the comments below who you appreciated the most, who you think I should be shouting out, and also what you are looking forward to about this weekend at Old Trafford, whether you're a United fan or a Liverpool. And I will chat to you again real soon right here on this channel. Big analysis tomorrow, by the way. Get on the Patreon, get on the Discord. See you guys there. Much love. Bye.